Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to lay out a really clear roadmap for understanding depression. We're going to cover the whole spectrum, from building up your resilience all the way to knowing exactly what to do if a crisis hits.
We all have those off days, right? But, and this is a big but, it's so important to know the difference between just feeling sad for a bit and a serious health condition. So, okay, let's get into it. So here's our game plan. We'll start by defining what we're really talking about beyond just sadness. Then we'll look at building mental resilience, explore professional treatments, learn how to recognize a mental health crisis, and finish up with how to help someone and how to get help yourself.
All right, first up, beyond everyday sadness. We need to define this complex condition.
Okay, so the clinical term is major depressive disorder. What does that actually mean? Well, it's a mood disorder that causes this persistent feeling of sadness and just a total loss of interest in things. And the big thing is, it can really mess with your ability to function, at work, at home, just in daily life. Those keywords are persistent and inability to function. That's when it crosses the line from a bad mood into a real medical concern.
But here's the good news. There are some really powerful, proactive things you can do to build a super strong foundation for your mental health. Let's explore what those are. Think of this as building your own personal mental health shield. It's built on a few key pillars. First, social connection. You need people you can really talk to. Then, there's physical activity. Getting regular exercise literally improves the brain chemicals that regulate your mood. Of course, a healthy diet, stress management, and avoiding things like smoking and heavy drinking are all part of it. Look, it's not about being perfect, right? It's about creating these consistent, healthy habits that all work together. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's the compounding effect of all those habits. Check this out. One study found that people who had 3 or more of these healthy behaviors were, get this, 87% less likely to experience depression. I mean, that's just staggering. It really shows how much power we have to protect our own mental health. But, sometimes self-care just isn't enough, and that's okay. Seeking professional help can be the most important, bravest step you can take. So let's open up the toolbox and see what evidence-based treatments are out there. You've probably heard it called talk therapy. And that's basically what psychotherapy is. The goal is to get those troubling symptoms under control so a person can get back to functioning better. Now, there are a ton of different types of therapy, but we're going to zero in on 2 super effective approaches that are specifically designed for mood disorders. Okay, so on one side, we have interpersonal psychotherapy, or IPT. That one really hones in on our relationships with other people. Then, on the other side, you've got interpersonal and social rhythm therapy, or IPSRT. This one's a bit different. It focuses on our relationship with time and routine. Basically, it's about getting your body's internal clock back in sync. So if we look closer at IPT, it helps people work through challenges in 4 main areas. Things like grief, dealing with a loss, or interpersonal disputes, conflicts with important people in your life. Role transitions are another big one. Think about becoming a new parent or starting a new job. The whole idea is that improving how we function socially can directly reduce the symptoms of depression. Okay, now, we need to shift gears and get serious for a moment. It is absolutely vital that we all know how to recognize when a situation has escalated into a medical emergency. And let's be crystal clear about this. A mental health crisis is a medical emergency. You have to think of it just like you would a heart attack or a severe injury. It is potentially life-threatening, and getting immediate professional help is crucial. So, what are the warning signs in yourself? Thinking about or planning to harm yourself? Actively looking for ways to do it? If you find you just can't get to work or school or are neglecting basic stuff like showering or eating, if you are experiencing any of these, especially thoughts of self-harm with a plan, it is time to get help right now. Your only job is to reach out. And what's crucial to know is that studies show the intent to act on these thoughts can form in as little as 10 minutes. That's why speed is so important. And what about when you see these signs in someone else? Maybe they're withdrawing from everyone, giving away prized possessions, or talking about not wanting to be around anymore. If you see this in a loved one, they might not be able to get help for themselves. They might need you to be their advocate. So what do you actually do? This right here, this is the most important part of this whole explainer. Knowing these clear, actionable steps can literally save a life. So let's talk about something that holds a lot of people back. Are you worried about asking someone if they're suicidal? It's a really common fear, right? That you might somehow make things worse or, put the idea in their head. Let's put that fear to rest right now. The experts and the research are incredibly clear on this. Asking if someone is suicidal does not put that idea in their head. Asking that question openly and directly is actually one of the most helpful things you can possibly do. It shows you care, and it cracks open the door for them to get the help they need.
Okay, so what are the steps? 1, take them seriously, always. 2, listen. Just listen, without judgment. 3, ask the question directly. Are you thinking about suicide? 4, encourage them to get professional help. And 5, help them connect with crisis support. Your job isn't to be a therapist. Your role is to be a bridge, to connect them with the trained professionals who can take it from there.
And here is the #1 resource in an emergency. In the US, you can call or text 988. This is the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It is free, it's totally confidential, and it's available 24/7. This number is for you if you're in crisis, and it's also for you if you're worried about somebody else. So, we've covered a lot, and understanding all this is the first step, but it's action that really creates change. So I want to leave you with this question. What is the first step you can take today to build your mental resilience or to help someone else build theirs? Whether it's planning a walk with a friend or maybe just saving 988 in your phone right now. Even a small step can make a huge difference.